You can also start it off with some text.
Okay.
So what we can do is we can give it the first, let's say, 20 characters and then start generating rather than generating at random. So I can, if I clear this, I can say start text is comment brackets Mike pound. Okay, and I can say start me a comment with starting with me being the person that did it. Maybe I'll make it all one word. Okay, so what this is essentially doing, remember, is basically saying, given these characters in a row, what's the next likely character? Go. And then it's just going to start predicting. Right.
So effectively that's probably going to go through, not literally in real time, but it's going to go through and work out what you've said in the past.
Well, it might, yeah, bearing in mind I don't think my username is Mike Pound or one word, but it might have some indication of the sort of sentences I appear in. Bearing in mind that there's so many YouTube comments that it's probably long forgotten as well. So, it depends on your situation whether it can learn that kind of detail. It'll probably be nonsense. Here we go. So let's scroll up. Where is it? I've lost it. Oh no, here we go. I don't see any classification regular algorithms. I see it in the time Linux is great exactly. I mean, I like Linux fine. But no, the point is now I can generate my own comments, so I don't need to actually pay attention to anything anymore. I can just generate my own text.
Normally, pretty much us rather go a contract program on his subject, everything to be inverted that online.
Yeah, it gets a bit philosophical. This is depending on this subject. I mean, that's always true, isn't it? Like, so I suggest a feature that is similar to interlaced ballots.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it's quite fun.
There is a reply from Computerphile though, if you notice.
Where was that then?
About 5 lines up from the bottom.
Oh, and there's a reply from Professor Dave B as well.
Oh, what's he saying?
I'm learning enough and ability to resolve Go words. And a reply from Computerphile. How do you watch if you basically have one hardware?
That's a really good question. How do you watch if you only have one hardware?
Something for the comments. This is a public library I've used for this. We'll put a link in the description. But they can train it up on any text they want. So a few of the examples I've seen online are things like Shakespeare, generating plausible Shakespeare, even generating plausible LaTeX and Linux source code, which doesn't compile but looks pretty convincing with comments and all kinds of things.
I believe he won't run a command. Very interested for a program that might only change the question used for how it, and then how out of about copying calculators where you want since.
Yes.
There are science done curse. A function about WS sections. That's venial.
It's sort of got itself into the tail end of Computerphile. It kind of put an OR and then went, oh, I'll put a file on the end of this, even though actually it doesn't really make sense. I mean, the word Computerphile has got to come up a fair few times in his comments. Programming, logical terms. It's going to learn words like that. Words like programming are often very well typed correctly and not spelled wrong, because once you see the word program, putting an MING on the end is fairly likely. That's the way it's going to be doing it. And here, I believe they talk about a user AI, but the intractic base them at watches. So intractic is just a non-word, but it's predicted.
I like that idea, that's nice.
I like to think it was maybe trying to type intergalactic and then it got it wrong.
What if Asimov stored it?
Yeah.
What if he did?
What if he did? Yeah, interesting.
I love it. Agreed in the point passwords considered. More control for the technology that you explained when instructive converses are allowed to fall with take a number. It's learned about putting timestamps in as well. Because people do that often, don't they? They put in, oh yeah, at 10 minutes 30, I don't think you got it right, or whatever. So there's one there, it says, such completing 539 political people.
Where's that?
About, again, near the bottom. I must have this thing of looking up from the bottom up.
Yeah. It's put in timestamps because some of the comments will have links to the video's timestamp, and it'll learn that occasionally you'll just put in a time. Right, so who knows what interesting thing happened at 5:39? Well, we won't know because this is not a real comment.
Isn't you demand all of the space by it?
Haha! I love Google.
There's a hashtag there.
Is there?
Hashtag hammer-market.
Oh yeah.
Into the power solve.
So we can say start text is hashtag and see what the most likely thing to come after a hashtag is. No, warning, it probably won't make sense. Oh, hang on, look.
There we go.
Numbers. Interesting. It'll probably always be numbers then. Oh no, there we go. Where is it? Oh, it's just part of the guy's name, and he's written a comment.
Okay.
Someone's mentioned pints down here. Yeah, nice. How Bitcoins do that? Question mark. Well, it's a good question. Maybe for a different video. I mean, so look at this. That's why you want to act on how binary is something like particle being helps.
I've just seen it at the top there.
What?
Notch 99 reply. 490th military would prefer my keys.
Yeah, I'm sure they would. You can see that, you can sometimes see the subject of the video in some of these comments. So here, what a robot can have laws, even if every case of AIs. There's bits about AI and law and robots because we've got videos on those topics that Rob Miles has done and people have commented on those sort of themes. If you trained this on a subset of videos, you would get more targeted comments that kind of reflected the kind of thing people were talking about in those videos. Hobo.orgs. The answer based on it. I don't know if hobo.orgs is a website.